Very good. Hi, ladies. Thank you for coming. Yay. Really excited about this. This is going to be really fun. I hope that you all have that you're all going to do this, like, like do the creativity. Otherwise, you can just watch the video, and the video is going to be made available to you anyway. Yeah, there'll be some fun parts to this. And I think that if you're anything like me, that you won't be able to finish this in 2 hours. You just won't. So just take it as far as you want to. Breathe. Relax and take it easy. It's an easy breezy Saturday. And I have my false eyelashes on. Yeah. And I actually have hot pink glittery sneaks on today because that's my jam. All right, so I think that I'm going to share my screen now with all you all so that you can see the video. All right, give me 1 minute. All right. Give me a thumbs up if you can see pink. Can you see pink? All right, cool. All right, good, good, good. So I'm gonna move this. I wonder if I can move that. Oh, that's fun. I moved y'all. Okay, so here we go. I think that for right now, make sure that you have torn papers, magazine, yeah, and your substrate out and some glue, gel medium, or any kind of medium. So let's start this, and I'm going to stop and start this while we go through this. Okay, so here we have all the materials. I think that you may have been sent a materials list. And if you haven't, the only thing that you're going to need right now will be a variety of torn papers, a blow dryer, some gloves if you have it, like throwaway latex gloves, a key card, a brush that works as well, a craft brush, 1.5, and gesso and matte medium or any kind of glue works beautifully. All right. So these are all the key cards I have. That's not true. That's not true. But I do have like hundreds of key cards. I decided that you should all know what I use because I think that it's nice to be able to show as an artist the beginning and end of a piece. And so here, what I've done is I've gessoed my substrate. So those of you who are actually doing this, maybe you want to gesso your piece right now, and then quickly get a blow dryer to dry it. And if you gesso your piece, you're just simply kind of putting on a very thin layer of gesso. I always start my pieces, especially if I'm using acrylic paint and all the mixed mediums that I use, I will gesso my substrate first and then I blow dry it because I'm way too impatient to wait for it to dry the next day to get started because I always like to start right away. Okay, so we're gonna do that. And I've noticed that some of you have gotten up, which is really kind of cool. Love the activity. All right. So I use matte medium to lay down my torn magazines, book shreds, and assorted papers. So let's just stop it for a second here. So once you've gessoed your piece, then what you're going to do is you're just going to simply tear things. You're going to create a collage, and the collage honestly has nothing to do with the end product. It just adds a texture, and about the only portion that you will see of your collage will be about maybe 1.5 inch of the bottom area. Because if you're doing anything like that I've done with this Marilyn, I like to simply just show like have a little peekaboo of collage in the bottom. The whole thing can just be whatever you want. It could just be torn books, magazines. It can be whatever. It doesn't have to be put together. Like this collage, I did within like a matter of 5 minutes because I just wanted to get to the fun stuff. This to me is never the fun stuff. Even though I know there's a lot of collage artists out there that are like, what? It's like, oh my God, what's she doing? Yeah, no, that's not me. Okay, so, all right, here we go. Right, so the brayer is really nice to roll out all the wrinkles in collage, I think. As long as you have a rubber brayer and one that doesn't like allow for mediums to sort of stick on and become piecey on the brayer. Yeah, so now it's the blow dry. I always blow dry. So at this point, are any of you actively doing it? Raise your hand. Or are you all just into watching it? You're just all into watching it. Okay. I'm going to let her roll.
I saw your class on Adana's website, and I have something I've already started that's similar.
Oh, love it.
So I'm going to try to, you'll see me move on and off, but I'm trying to incorporate what you're doing with what I already have.
Oh, fabulous. I love that story. Excellent. Yay.
So that's why I keep disappearing, but I'm listening and I'm watching.
Okay, cool. And you will show us at the end of this, or you'll show us at some point what you're working on?
Yeah, I can show you right now if you want.
Yay.
Do you want to? I'll just show you the beginning of it.
I love it.
There are a couple of questions in the chat.
Okay.
Somebody doesn't have gesso and wants to know about substitutes.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Let's see. So let's see. I don't have gesso. Is there any substitute? Let me think about that. What would a substitute be? Paint. Just regular paint. Acrylic paint is the substitute. Yeah, yeah. Acrylic paint's always a substitute. And what am I using for the glue? Mary, I use the matte medium for glue, or decoupage glue, or powdered wheat. Actually, no, that doesn't work. That doesn't work at all. Elmer's glue kind of works. I don't really like it. I do something else with Elmer's that's really fun, and I'm actually going to show that in the on the September 2nd. I have a decoupage class on September 2nd with all y'all, and I'm going to show you what I do with that because it's super, super, super fun. You would be amazed at what Elmer's glue actually is useful for, other than gluing things down. It just doesn't glue. But yeah, so, what else would I use? Oh, Gorilla Glue is fun. Also, the spray can adhesive glue is really great, especially when you're doing this kind of just lay down of nonsensical, doesn't make any sense collage. So that really works out nicely. And what else? Yeah. All right. Okay. My favorite part is the puppy. So I don't know about you all, but I don't know how to use scissors. I can't work scissors at all. So I just do this with about everything. That's weird. Let me know, ladies, if you want me to slow down or go over anything in the chat, or you can use the raise your hand function in the chat too if you need my attention, because I'm looking constantly. I have two screens, so I'm looking to see if you all need anything. So if you don't have if you don't have walnut ink, you can easily mix burnt umber, the darkest brown you have, or any kind of chocolate colored acrylic with water to liquefy it down. And or you can use, let's see, you can use the padded ink, the ink pads that they sell to age the piece. And you'll see what I mean by aging the piece. You don't have to have this. You can use any kind of brown to do this part. So once I've dried the aging, like India ink, then I mixed up Prussian blue with a little bit, just a teeny tiny drop of black and water. And these are acrylics. I want the drip effect. The fun thing about this style of artistry or painting is that you can't make a mistake. You don't have to be perfect with this technique at all. You just have fun. And actually what I find is when I do think that I've made a mistake, oftentimes I leave it because when I look at it with fresh eyes the next day, I find that the mistake was really not a mistake at all, but it was actually supposed to happen in that way, which is really kind of fun. I love that. I haven't watched this in a while. This is fun. Okay, so the reason I showed you the gentleman with the stencil and the woman is because I didn't have any star stencils in my batch of goodies. I couldn't believe it. So I had to make my own star stencils. And how you do that is you just simply draw on a piece of paper or print out whatever image you want. And then throw a layer of matte medium over the entire piece of paper on both front and back. And what's amazing is when you do that, the paper becomes sort of like a light plastic fabric material once it's dried, and it becomes easy to utilize as a stencil. Now, if you were to allow for these coats to dry, or this coat to dry and then add another coat, then the paper would become thicker, and the stencil will be like usable for a long, long time. So just so you know, matte medium is one of my favorite mediums. It's so pliable to everything, and I love the finish of it even when you brush it. I love, well, this is matte anyway, but I just love that the texture of it is the texture and the look of it is just wonderful. It's matte. It's like watching paint dry, I know. So, right, so again, I don't know how to use scissors, so I just use my X-Acto for everything. And the funny thing about these star images is I realized once I did this, it's like, oh my gosh, how am I gonna cut this so that I can have only the outline part? I didn't want a whole star cut out because I have that, but I didn't have like a line, like a line star. So this was an interesting idea. Oh, this is such a great little tip. So let's stop this for a second. So Flotro is it's a kind of it's used for cars. And the way that I discovered Flotro was that the artists that use Flotro are generally the artists that do, what's it called? What's it called? It's, oh, what is that called? It's a style of abstract where it makes the paint sort of spread out and celluloid. It's, gosh, what is that called?
Fluid art.
Fluid artist, yeah, that's it. Thank you, honey. Yeah, I'm so glad you're here. So that's how I discovered Floetrol. But what I also discovered is that Floetrol, when you mix it up with just any kind of acrylic that comes out of a tube, it makes the acrylic paint so nice to paint with. It's just like, it's kind of like thicker than milk and less than maple. So it just becomes this beautiful fluidity. It's just really, really sweet. So that was neat. That was like a really fun find. So I sketched in Maryland. I didn't really want to like show you the sketching part because I'm sure everybody knows how to sketch. And I'm really into negative, positive, sort of, I keep things pop oriented. This is just, I think that this is a phase that maybe I'm going through right now. I think it might have something to do with my youth. I'm not sure. I haven't really talked about that. So, yeah, so the pop culture for me is this sort of positive, negative kind of portrait, pop culture, sort of graffiti, street, urban stuff. So, so that's how I do the faces of everybody that I'm currently creating. So this is fun. The stars are being used right now. Anytime I think of Marilyn Monroe, I always think of stars. She's such a star because she's a star. She really is a star. Here we go. So, oh yeah, let's talk about this. Do all y'all have stencils in your arsenal? Do you have no stencils? Well, the fun thing about stencils is that as you can see, you can make them. It's super easy to make a stencil. Yeah, you can just make them. But you can also buy them online on Amazon. They're available on Amazon. My favorite stencil, and I promised myself I wouldn't tell you all my secrets, but whatever. My favorite stencil maker is Stencil Girl. She makes the raddest stencils on the planet. Yeah, actually, I have to take that back. There's another really fabulous stencil artist, but she's the one artist online that I keep coming back to. She creates some fabulous stencils, and they're not cheap. They're not cheap, but you can also go to Michael's. Michael's has stencils as well as Joanne and yeah, I think, yeah, but we can't go out. So, Amazon it, ladies, Amazon it. Ooh, someone has a bird in the background. That was cool. So, Yeah, so I did the stencil part of my stars, and I didn't really like the disconnect of the line, so I just went in and just painted it. And then I decided that I would just use different colors of paint, different hues of pinks and blues, because that's just me. That's my choice, and I like it. I think this is really cool. It ends up turning out to be really pretty fun. And as you can see, the little yellow dots in the background, that's a stencil that I actually got that stencil from Art from Scrap in Santa Barbara. And what's amazing about Art from Scrap, when they're open, but they're closed down now because of the COVID, so sucky. When you go to Art from Scrap, you get a little bucket. They'll give you buckets. There are 3 sizes. One's like a $6 bucket. The second size is $8. And the big bucket is $13. You stick as much stuff in those little buckets, and that's what you pay. So $5 for. So one day I went in there. I needed paint brushes so badly, and I don't even think that the clerks knew that they had all these fabulous paint brushes. I walked out of there with like 70 fabulous paintbrushes that had been used, and all you have to do is like take them home and put a little out, dip them in alcohol, and they're fine. Yeah, for $5. It's just premium.
Brendan, I have a question.
Sure.
So the stencils that you buy at Michael's are the very thin plastic ones?
Yeah, you know what's funny? That's a great question. Is I have those little thin plastic ones. I have thin plastic ones. I also have the ones that you would use for knitting. They're like, I don't know, they're used for knitting or something weird, and they're like this big, like they're huge, or crocheting or something.
Oh,
I don't know. I don't
that's
know
not
what
my
they're.
world.
Yeah, it's not my world either, but I saw them and I was like, oh my God, I can make this work, because I do relatively, when I sell work, I do really large pieces. So really large stencils are really something that I find way more useful for me. But yes, you can get teeny ones. It's just, I think it's a matter of like what you want, what you're going to use it for, and whether or not you want it to sort of be in the foreground, be in the background. If you're going to spray paint, you're going to use it with spray paint. And I mean, because there's so much you can do it with spray paint. You can do this with acrylic. You can use these with pastels. You can use them with oil sticks. What's it called? It's encaustic. Oh my gosh, you can do so much with these things. So yeah, just if you see it and you like it, just get it. That's kind of how I roll.
Okay. And your Arts and Scrap, where is that?
Arts from Scrap is on Garden and Coda
In
Santa Barbara.
oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, but they're closed right now due
Mhm.
to the COVID. I would check online periodically to see when they open up, because right now they're closed. It's such a bummer, but yeah,
Okay.
excellent place. It's all donations there, and it's kind of a great place for Art from Scrap because of the college. And I think that perhaps a lot of art students just kind of give up and they just donate their stuff there, which is really a bummer for them, but it's really awesome for me. And anybody else that knows about it. So fabulous.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
So I have another question about stencils. What is the advantage of making a stencil by prepping thin paper rather than just cutting a thicker paper or cardboard?
That's a great question, Sue. The reason I use, so what I use is a one step up from regular copy paper is because I had a star JPEG that I really liked, which is this, and I just wanted it printed, and I wanted a bunch of them printed out on one sheet, and my printer doesn't take anything thicker than this sort of thin paper, otherwise it would jam. But you can do anything from, you can use any kind of paper. If you have a printer that actually allows you to print thicker paper, or I think it's Velium. No, I'm not sure what it's called. If you have a printer that allows you to do plastic or cardstock, that would be awesome. But you still need to apply a medium. And the reason is so that it doesn't fray your cuts. Because when you cut just regular paper, it won't, there won't be any sustainability after a while. So it's really nice to have, you know, a medium is like, I don't know, it sort of protects everything. So that's the, I guess that would be like the purpose of doing all of this, is to be able to reuse it. Now, if you find what you need, you know, in the stores or online, and you're patient, then go that route. That way you don't have to do this. But I'm not patient when I'm in creativity mode. I need what I need right away, and so if I don't have it, I just make it. Yeah.
I've used lace.
What's that?
Lace
Lace?
as a stencil.
Oh,
and,
wow.
And also a trivet with holes in it.
That's fun. As long as the lace is somehow taped down, that's a great idea. And if you use a sponge with paint on it, like if you just use just a little bit of paint on the sponge and just kind of sort of lightly tap it.
This is how it came out.
Oh, wow. Gosh, I wonder if there's a way. That's, how does it look for you, Mary? Does it look good? Because I can't see it so well. It's
You
just
can't
a little
see it?
tiny.
Well, it's on top of collage. So
Oh,
it's hard to
cool.
see.
Yes. That looks good. Are you happy with it?
I don't think it's finished, but
Right. It probably isn't, because we're
it's different.
it's different. Yeah. You're gonna know when it's finished for you. For sure. So let me know, ladies, if you want me to keep going or just stop right here so that you can kind of, you know, do what you're doing, or do you need me to roll back, or do you want to?
Brendan, I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
I tried to raise my hand, but it only has a clapping or a thumbs up.
Oh, that's okay.
Can you see me?
Let me
I can
see.
see you. Yes.
So,
Let's see. I'm gonna try and put you. Give me 1 second. Oops. Shut.
Maybe stop sharing the screen to see anybody bigger.
Let's do that. Yeah, I'm gonna stop sharing for a second, y'all. There we go. Excellent.
okay, so I just did a base collage.
That's great. You just did
So
that?
now go fill in the areas with paint and mark making, I guess, right? Oh, there
That's
you are.
fabulous.
There I am.
Wow.
So I have two questions.
Mm-hmm.
Why would I put a gesso? Gosh, I look old with these things on. Why would I put gesso on my substrate if I'm decoupaging on the area anyway?
Because
In case I have paint?
no, well, yes, and all the different media. Well, there's two reasons. One, my substrate was a canvas, that cheap little canvas, and I like a really sort of smooth surface. So that's one reason. The second is because of all the different mediums that I use. I feel as though it's not going to get lost in the cracks of of the canvas. So I always start with gesso, and the medium I find that I use to do the collage, it sustains itself forever. I have when I was actually a collage artist, I have pieces that have lived with that little technique for years, and it hasn't moved, it hasn't peeled, it hasn't bubbled, it hasn't weathered, they haven't turned yellow, they are still vibrant, and the colors are still alive, and it just, I don't know, it's just something that like I've always done. I've always felt like if it's working and it hasn't broken and it hasn't done anything weird like fade or turn that weird golden yellow color after a while,
Yeah.
it just works.
So these pieces are not framed?
Which pieces?
The ones that haven't,
Yes, they are. Yeah.
oh, they're framed, and do they
Yeah.
have the special glass?
So what they are is they're framed, but they are framed like about, let me think about this. Some of them are framed about 3/4 off the, right? So like the substrate. And so that means that the it's not touching the glass at all. So everything breathes in the frame.
And is the glass UV protective?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
so
okay.
it is. So yes, it is special glass. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Just
Good question.
because I worry, because when I go and I spend so much time on each piece, I want it to live forever.
Yeah, I get that. I totally get that. Yeah. Also, the other thing that I would do is I would use, I resin a lot of my pieces now because I find that resin has such a beautiful, beautiful sustain and such a beautiful finish that I don't have to frame anything. It just it is the frame. I'm like, it just looks beautiful. So yeah, I find that resin's really, really nice. Yeah. So Mary, go ahead. Oh, go ahead.
Do you have a brand of resin? I've not used it myself.
No, I don't have a brand. I just buy what's at the hardware store, or because I try to buy it in gallons. So I'll buy, if the hardware store has it in gallons, I'll get it there. I'll get it through Amazon. And
Okay.
just whatever it is, I think it comes from Mexico. Yeah, that's what I use. It's awesome. And yeah. Mary, can we see yours? Can we see yours? Oh, fun. Oh, wow. Oh,
Lovely.
I like the stenciling. That's great. That's really cool, Mary. Yeah, I like the stenciling. Very nice. Are you muted, honey? Are you talking?
Yep.
There we go.
There, I got rid of it. Okay.
That looks good.
You like this direction?
Love it. Yes, I love it. I like the stenciling is great. It's so fun. Yes, that's fun, Mary.
I had started preparing by doing nice looking collage, but then you said we're not going to show the collage, so I wasn't sure what to do. So I took another canvas.
Yeah, because I mean, you can do whatever you want.
I can show you what I started.
Okay.
Did two collage type of things before we even got together. They're not glued on, so they might fall.
Okay.
off.
Yeah, don't. Oh, I can see. Oh, wow. Wow, that's so pretty.
But I didn't want to cover it so you couldn't
Yeah.
see it.
That's pretty.
And I
That's
have
really pretty.
one other one I did. But it has more little pieces, so it might, this has a, oh, one of them fell off already. That's the problem with collage. You know, they move, they do all sorts of things.
Oh, wow.
They're moving. I'm
They're
sorry.
moving. That's beautiful.
They're falling off. It has
That's
an
fun.
acrylic background.
How fun.
I'm reusing canvases because I just have to sell more or I have no room. I to reuse stuff.
Yeah, I understand that.
I did buy some new canvases, but mostly I've been reusing old ones. Not ones I really like, but, and I did a painting. I've been doing some fairy tale paintings lately. And I did one of my mother's dolls and I put it on for sale. Then I decided I don't want to sell that one. So I'm keeping it.
That's good. That's great. That's really nice.
Well, she made all the dolls in the case behind me. I don't know if you can see them.
I can see, yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen those when I came over
When
your
you
house.
came over, yeah.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
So
All right, so let's see. Let's get back to this video. How do I do that? Sure. There we go. Share screen. All right.
Laura Denny has a collage class that I took last semester.
Mm-hmm.
It's harder with Zoom. In her real class, she has all sorts of things she brings, including printmaking.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But in a Zoom class, she's nice enough. She'll sometimes deliver things because I told her I'm not going out and I don't live that far from her.
Mm-hmm.
But she can't really, you can show the stuff. You can mail her photos. That's another way of handling it.
Oh, how fun.
But did you know you could take a Xerox, including colored ones, put glue on one side, glue it to the canvas, and then pull it off and use water and your fingers to pull off what doesn't come off.
Oh,
and
yeah.
then we'll have the Xerox on the canvas.
Yeah.
So
It's a transfer. Yeah, it's a transfer. It's rad.
It
Yeah.
doesn't always work, but when it works, it's pretty amazing.
Yeah. So here's the what I do with sometimes the collage is if I want it to sort of come through or be a part of the piece, and I need it to kind of sort of stick out, is and I wish I would have shown this part, but I think that I would forget to turn on the camera. So some of the things just didn't get videotaped. But if you notice where the seafoam color or the aqua color is, notice that it's sort of defined. And the way that I defined it was I took a charcoal stick and just went around the cracks and then smudged it so that there's a definition. And as you can see, I did it around that and around the yellow portion that's being painted right now. And then again, went around, there's a sort of there's just like, I just took this pencil and I went around the entire piece and sort of defined those areas that I wanted to sort of pop out. And then as you'll notice, there's a couple white sort of droplets that are they're actually called drips. There's 2 white drips, and I forgot to show how I did that. And how it's super easy. It's just simply acrylic paint and water, and with a you can use anything. You can use this a spoon. You can use your fingers. Just dip your fingers in the emulsion, and then just drop, and then pick up the substrate and just bring it to not horizontal, vertical, and let it drop as far as you want it to drop, and then bring it back to horizontal, and then dry it. So that's what I do. That's how I get the drips. I also get the drips with, I have a ton of India inks, but for the purpose of this class, I wanted to utilize things that you would have in your home. So I think that everybody has white acrylic paint, and it's just a really, really easy technique to sort of give your paintings a little more something. Because I really like if you notice in this shot, I love the droplet effect. I love the colors that are kind of being painted in. And I really enjoy that the Prussian blue in the background. It's sort of kind of showing that there's hues of blues and grays in it, and I kind of like that it just aged certain areas that I wanted shown in this piece. So that's a really cool technique, and it's a really fun way to sort of give you a surprise about painting, and just allowing for things to just happen and not get in the way and not make anything perfect. Just have fun and let it dry. And
what about the gray? You have 3-dimensional, and the blue next to it, is that a piece of fabric?
No, that was actually silver. That was silver paper, and because of the Prussian blue with the dab of Mars paint, and then mixed with water, it just it sort of recolored the silver to turn it into that that color of paper.
It's very nice. And the bump on the silver looks almost like a rock.
Right. What's interesting is that paper is actually textured paper, so it's very puffy because it's like the texture of the paper. It's actually wetting paper, actually. So it's got it's embossed. So I find that embossed papers work really nicely for these collages because they have their own dimension, and they turn when you drop paint on it, they turn into something so fun. So that's always fun.
I never heard of wedding paper.
Wedding paper, yeah, you can get it at CVS, right? Oh, actually, Michael's has it. Yeah, Michael's has it. Yeah. All right, let's go. Let's go with this and see what happens. Ah, there we go. So pretty much mixed media for me is about one layer dry, another layer dry, another layer dry, another layer dry. It's all about layers. That's what's fun about this is you just let the substrate speak to you. And the collage sometimes. But I pretty much know what I want to stick out after my collage. I know exactly what I want to show and what I don't want to show. I don't know if you caught this, but if you have stamps in your arsenal of things, and what I mean by that is the stamp and ink pad. Stamps are really fun too for another layer of things. And if you don't have an ink pad, you can always take a sponge, dip it in some color, lightly dip it, just so that there's a very light layer on the sponge, and then just sort of blot it on the stamp and then press down on your substrate and create the images that way.
Brandon, have you ever used tea to stain paper?
I have, and I don't. It's a personal thing. I don't really like it. It's
Okay.
it doesn't work as well as for me. It just doesn't work. I think because I like bold colors, and it doesn't do what I want it to do. I can never manipulate tea. I've tried coffee, and coffee worked nicely. But here's the other thing: is I don't really like for my my canvases and my substrates to smell like coffee and tea. It ruins it for me. Like, and then it's like, I want coffee, but I've been smelling this all day. It smells like cats. So no, I just don't use it at all. I like the smell of chemicals.
Okay.
I like the smell of paint. Paint and encaustics. Oh, I just love it. No, that's not true. I love the smell of paint though. That's for sure. I just love walking into my studio and smelling acrylic paint in the air and my candles that are lit. Oh my God, it's so wonderful. So these pens are really fun. That I don't know if you saw that, but I use that that really fun detail pen that probably ruin them. I use gel ballpoint pens that you can actually buy through Amazon. You can get everything through Amazon. I use macro black and all colored, they're like drafting pens. to do details. Like I was doing something, I don't know what I was just doing. But as you can see, the stars are all sort of outlined, and I use that white gel pen. I use gel pens because it's just about the only pen that you can actually use on top of all of these mediums, such as paint, gel, medium, paint, more matte medium, India inks. Yeah, it works beautifully, and there's no fuss with it. Same with the macro pens, except the problem with macro pens is that it will have a tendency at times to not work on oil. Like it won't work actually on oil unless the oil is like the oil stick paintings, unless it's completely dried, and unless I've added a medium over it, it won't work. It just doesn't work. And then it ruins the pen, and there's $5. I'm kidding. The pens are way more expensive than that. So there's my lady, my pretty Marilyn. Yay. Can y'all hear the music? Oh, here we go. So this is kind of interesting. So this part is, I'm showing you all of my collage beginnings and the finishes. So we have this part of Maryland, and there's that black pen that I use. That's really fun. Oh, here's the stamp effect. Oh dang, let me show you this. So let's see if we can get that back. Right here, there's the macro pen, which I love. It works so beautifully. And this isn't a gel pen either. This is sort of like a drafting architectural pen. These pens come in all different sizes. They're really wonderful. Also, if you are an ink artist, I think this is what most ink artists use. It's such a wonderful, wonderful gliding pen that I absolutely ruin. Okay, right there. Do you see the sort of, it looks like white graffiti all up at the top there? That is a stamp, and it is a graffiti stamp. It's huge. The stamp is about this big. Yeah, and I just simply just blot it with, I take a sponge and some white paint, and I just blot the stamp and then press it onto my piece, lift off. Now, oftentimes, what I would do is I would outline the graffiti with like black or another pen color, but I didn't want to do that to this. I wanted it to just stay white and sort of inobtuse, and just sort of allow for it to just kind of look like whatever it is, and not have it defined. Because I feel like sometimes I tend to go overboard, and sometimes I have to just sit and let it sort of sit overnight and see if I wake up the next day loving it. Because I can always take away. I can always take it away and redo it. But I find that if I add too much to it, then it's a little more difficult to take away. Yeah, so there's that. And then underneath, if you see, like there's some other things, I've actually used like 3 different stamps in that area. There's sort of a fencing stamp that I used underneath that. And then there's another sort of a black, sort of a design stamp. And then I layered it on top with this other stamp. Stamps are fun because you can actually just keep stamping and stamping and stamping, and lo and behold, you actually have a piece without ever having to paint. That's the fun thing about stamping. And then if you want to really get down and go crazy, throw some encaustic wax over it and see what happens. It's so fun. Yeah. The cheap way to be an artist. Stamp it. Whoa. Pretty lady. Still so So here we go. This is a collage this is my beginning on a substrate, and the substrate is a wood palette, and it's roughly about, what is it, 3 feet by 3 feet. I think maybe, no, it's not square, so it's rectangle. So it's about 3 feet by 2.5, or 2.5 by 3 feet. And this was for a show in Santa Barbara, and it was the Picasso Blue Period show. And so I had an idea that I really wanted to take this artist's imagery and sort of emulate this artist that I can't, his name escapes me. He's a French artist and I can't think of it. It's like Jadot Parou or something. I don't know, I can't remember it. So this is the beginning, and then that's the finish of it. And what's really fun about this is it's so huge, and the textures, the colors, the stained glass wall. I mean, it just turned out to me, it's like one of my favorite paintings. Plus the guy isn't so bad looking. He looks like a rock star. Just so fun. This was so much fun to do, and I thought it was kind of neat to bring that that tortured story of that the French gentleman in the bathtub and how he died, bring it to a little more poetic romance, where this gentleman in this tub, this rock star guy, kills himself because his bride Julietta died a year ago, and he can't like live without her. So romantic. so this was super, super fun. And that's another, just throw it together. I got no reasoning behind this at all. As you can see, I went with like really dark cranberry paint colors. I have the white drips going down already on the collage bits. And then it goes from this to this. And this is really fun. I love these colors so much, and I love, who doesn't love a honeybee? I mean, without honeybees, we don't have coffee. That's so sad. So, so as a tribute to the honeybees, the fun thing about this is the honeybees have dimensional, what is it called? Dimensional fabric that I cut out and glued down as their wings. So I don't know if you can see it. It's kind of almost like not visible. You might miss it, but their wings are dimensional. And this is just like one of my favorite little pieces. It's a 12 by 12 piece. It's just so fun. And the handwriting or the lyrics are the lyrics of Be My Little Honeybee, which is by an artist that I can't think of. What's wrong with me? It's such a great song. Oh shoot, I should have these things written down, shouldn't I? Yeah, probably should. So sad. Or maybe it's Sade. It's somebody like that. Somebody really beautiful, gorgeous voice.
There are a lot of honeybee songs.
Yeah, there are a lot of honeybee songs, that's for sure.
Cynthia Williams, Tom Petty, and Madeline Potts are all.
That's it, Williams.
Okay.
Serena or whoever you said. That's the girl. That's the girl for sure. For sure. All right, so I'm going to stop sharing my screen, I think. Unless you ladies need to go over anything. There it is. Aha. Hi. How's it going, ladies? What is the step? Oh, go ahead. Go ahead, honey.
I'm still working, but I think I just need to let mine dry. But
Oh, wow. I love that. Donna, that's beautiful. Wow, gorgeous. Yeah, that's beautiful.
mark making, yay.
It's beautiful.
So I want to work on her hair and stuff, but it has to dry for a little bit. But I did use some of my own artwork because I took a color copy of it.
It's beautiful.
Yay!
Beautiful.
That was fun.
Yay.
I'll unmute myself now.
What is the step after placing all the torn magazine pieces onto the substrate? Let's think. What is that step? I think I have to go back to the video. Let me think about that. Oh, I'm going to go back and then review this and then tell you. What is it? So we're here. Oh, so at this point, you would blow dry your substrate, get it dry. You really want it dry. And the reason why you want it super dry is so that all of the next steps don't bleed underneath and through your collage. So blow dry, blow dry, blow dry, let it super, super dry. And if you have any collage pieces that are hanging over your substrate, then you can trim the edges. And then the very next step after that is, while it's wet, actually, if you have a key card or a brayer, you kind of want to flatten the surface, make sure that all of the wrinkles have been rolled out, or use a key card to roll it out, and then dry it. And then after you've dried it completely, then you would take a color of your choice, and here, I'll just show you. Let's just show you. I'm going to screen share this to you, okay, Denise? Let's just do this. I think it's easier if you just see it Screen share. Screen share.
You should, I haven't,
Be able to, right? Yeah. Oh, here we go. I'm sorry, honey. There we go. Thanks, Sue. Thank you. Here we go. I have to move you all over there and then move this back here. Here we go. Ah. All right, there we go. Ta-da! All right. Okay, so this is the step after it's dry. Is you would just take, if you have this.
we're not seeing the video.
Oh, you're not? Okay. Really? Oh. Pause. Bring your shared window to the front. Bring my shared window to the front. It's bizarre. Now can you see it? No?
Well, it changed, but I'm just seeing white. Before I just saw black.
Oh, how bizarre. Okay, let's try this again. Oh, how's that? No?
Yeah, maybe stop the screen share and then start it again. Try it
Okay.
again.
Oh, here we go. I don't know. Oh, here we go. Oh, I see why. Okay, I have it now. Okay, can you see?
That's it.
Okay. I'm not going to tell you what I just did because I'm stupid.
All I see is that you have 35,000 screens that you're operating. So
I'm just dumb. I'm blonde. Oh, no, no. I don't mean that. I'm dumb. Anyway, so so this is what I use to sort of age the whole like piece. But you don't have to have this to do this. You can just use either black mixed up with brown, if you have acrylics, or just brown, like a rich brown. Add a little water, just a little dab, teeny weeny dab with some water, and get a sponge, and just, you know, bring it down to the page. You don't want to do too much of it, because I find that if you do too much of it, then it just it takes away from I think that too much is just too much, and I like streaks, so like you can still see the white in the background, you can still see the writing in the torn pages, you can still see color through the original torn pages. To me, that's kind of like what mixed media is all about, being able to just still visibly see what it is behind the painting. And so yeah, just streak it down and then go over it with another color, the color of your choice. and I just run it across the top so that, again, this will just run down the page when I stand it up. And I love drips. I'm a drip artist. And then I kind of just streak it a little bit with my brush. So that's that. Does that make sense, Denise? Yeah, good, okay. Yes, whoever me is, may I screen share? Yes, please do, screen share. Who asked if they could screen share?
I think you did.
Me? Oh, that was me. I'm so dumb. It's funny.
Brendan, the walnut ink you used, what is it? Is it an acrylic? I mean, I didn't.
No, it's a like an India ink, and it's
Okay.
mainly used for I think that people use it as an inkwell to do calligraphy, but I use it for these kinds of projects. So, but you can use India inks. You can use paint to have the same effect, same exact effect.
Okay.
Yeah, and you can also use the pads. I wish I would have shown y'all how to just take your substrate and take a pad of ink, you know, like a padded ink where you would like punch a stamp on, you know, those ink pads. If you have, like, I'll quickly just show you what I mean. Say this is my substrate, and say this is my ink pad. Like pretend this is an ink pad, like the kind of ink pad that you would have in an office, or yeah, it's just a colored ink pad. I would take my substrate like this, and I would run the ink pad along the edges of the substrate like this. And if I wanted it to not just cover the edges and I wanted it to be on the substrate, I would then run my finger down and through, and I would just keep doing that. And then I would take the ink pad and just sort of blot it lightly on my substrate so that in different areas, so that I have the same kind of effect as this as my piece has. So you can easily you can take so many things to substitute what it is that that you're doing. You don't necessarily need what I use. There's so many ways to come up with your own. Like the tea idea and the coffee idea is such a great idea. Yeah, you can use virtually anything. And the other thing about painting and using acrylic paints is that if you have old house paint, like old interior or exterior house paint, don't throw it out. Use it. Use it in your paintings. Use it in your projects, because I do. I don't know about you all, but I spent something like $7,000 last year in materials. When I went through my taxes, I couldn't believe how much money I spent on materials. But it's fine. This is what I do, and thank God I was able to sell a piece a month last year, all through the entire year of 2019, to make up for the crazy spending spree. But as you know, as an artist, it's like, I love buying art supplies. That's my jam. Some women like buying shoes. I buy art supplies. Art supplies, eyelashes, and glittery chucks. Glittery chucks. Yeah. So what else, ladies? Anybody got anything? Tasha, do you want to show us what you're doing? I'm kind of excited.
Well, I held it up. So I got a diptych, and it's going to be a mosaic collage.
Oh, wow.
And it's part paint, part paper. And now I can't hold it up anymore because half of it it's got papers all over it because I
Okay.
was shredding it. But I can show you. Let's see.
Hi.
This is
Oh,
one.
it's gorgeous.
So this is what I had done before, and
Wow.
when I saw your class, I thought, oh, I'd like to make it a little bit more crazy, because this.
It's beautiful.
So it's I would say 75% paper, and the rest it's actually oil painting.
That's gorgeous.
And I want to do more acrylic because I have to wait too long for it to dry. So now I'm doing a diptych, and it's very rough, but the bottom half, let's see.
Oh, wow.
So it's a woman driving a car, and this is half of her body. The other piece goes up here. But anyway, I'm going to.
Wow, that's rad.
I need to let go and go a little crazy so it has more personality. I love the technique that you showed.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. It's gorgeous. That's going to be gorgeous.
So I'd like to hear about your next classes.
My next class is, let's see, so the next class is with all you all. What's the next one? Oh, so the next one we're going to be doing is, what are we doing? Why am I forgetting? Okay, I'll go to the last class because I can't think of what the next one is. It's so weird, but it'll come to me. So the very last class, we're going to do pop deco boxes. And essentially, we're taking a 12th century idea, which is, you know, decoupaging a cigar box, and bringing it to a more urban, street style imagery, combined with cool decoupage printed napkins. And also, it also combines mixed media. Like I do use the napkins for the decoupage part of it, but I don't display it. In other words, it's part of the scene, but I always add a sort of a pop image to it. And that should be super, super, super fun. The next class is a portrait study. So it's going to be a pop portrait class, and tons of layers with stenciling and spray paint. And then being able to just draw your image once everything's sort of dried up, and then paint the image and add more layers to the substrate. So it's a pop portrait class is the next class. And they're both, this next class is going to be pretty intense. I think I probably should have scheduled it for a 2-day class, because if you want to see something like that happen, like as you're doing it, and you want to have it happen quickly, it kind of takes roughly, I don't know, 2 days. If you don't have a blow dryer readily available to dry the first layer of paint, and then you don't have the next to dry, class is pop portraiture, yeah, and then the decoupage, yeah. So if you don't have like a blow dryer readily available to like dry everything up, then it takes hours to go back in and then add your next layer of whatever that is, and then the next layer of sketching. Or if you have an image that you absolutely love, like if you love Audrey Hepburn and you've always wanted to paint an image of Audrey Hepburn, and you have this image, you can use that image as your final image for the pop portraiture. Or if you have an image of Madonna, because that's your jam, and you've always wanted to use that, use that. Or if you have a sketch of somebody that you think is sort of a pop character, or if you've always wanted to paint a Campbell's soup can, because that is pop, right? That's part of the culture. And you wanted to do that, you can do that. Or
Sardines.
sardines.
I'm wondering about
So,
the,
do you do that outside because of the spray paint? I mean,
Oh
do you?
yeah,
Yeah, okay.
yeah. The
So,
spray paint,
so when you do it, do people, are they running in and out of the zip?
yeah,
Okay,
yeah, you'd have to. You would
okay.
have to.
I'd like to do that, but I would be totally set up and do whatever I'd have to do in advance. But, you know, I spend a lot of time on these projects, so
Yeah, yeah.
however I can start.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. And the way that next project starts is with acrylic painting first. So if you wanted to come back to the next part, or just watch the next part and then do the spray painting the next day on your own, you can do that. Or if you want to do it while the video is running, you can do that too. You can do whatever you want to do. But just know that one of the biggest keys to this is stenciling. It's one of the biggest keys to this part, or this next class. I have hundreds of stencils, so I have tons of imagery. I love layered effect anyway, and the finish is always, for me, it's always just it's just beautiful, because to me it's like I'm constantly looking through the surface and seeing something new because of all the different layers on the canvas. So yeah, so we can I would suggest to start with a small, like a 12 by 12 block, a wood block, or what are those things? A wood palette. Start with that, and there won't be any collage involved in this. It's just strictly paint, spray paint, stencils, and then painting. So it should be fun. I think it's fun.
okay, I glued this one. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I was going to ask you about the flowers on the bottom, but you were too busy talking, so I put them in.
Which flowers? Which flowers? Raise it up.
These two, I wasn't sure whether to put them in, but I did.
I think they're great.
Okay.
I think they're great. Are you going to paint over this, or are you just going to kind of just leave it?
I'm not sure. It has paint under it. I covered a painting.
That's great.
So So probably I'm not going to put paint over it.
That's cool. That's pretty. That's really pretty.
Well, you had said to use flowers. You wanted us to have flowers.
Yeah, flowers, because it's the easiest. It's the easiest way to kind of like. I think that flowers always bring out some kind of imagination and create in the creative process. So flowers are really always excellent to work with.
It appealed to me, so I looked and saw what I had.
Nice, very nice. All right.
I'm not sure if I'll do more to this one. Probably it needs something else.
Maybe, well, you're gonna get a copy of this video, and so yeah, just so you all know, you'll have a copy of the video,
Okay.
and you can watch the video at any point.
Mm-hmm.
What's that, Sue?
You'll get a link to the video.
Yeah, you'll get a link to the video, so that means that you have easy access to the video at any time.
Okay.
So while you're doing your process, just just watch as you're doing your process, and see if any of the techniques stick and
See,
you want
some of
to
it,
emulate.
I didn't glue that well, like her chest is sticking out because it's not glued down. I was in a hurry and I didn't quite right. Little thing, who cares? I'm happy with this one. It's very cheerful. We need cheerfulness right now.
Yes, we do. That is for sure. We do. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Sweet. Well, ladies, I don't know. Do y'all have any questions, or are you good? We good? Probably good, right?
I'm good. I have to let mine dry,
Okay.
you know? New layer tomorrow or later tonight.
Yeah. Good, good. Sue, are we going to be able to see the ladies' finished products up on the site? How does that work?
We have not done that, but certainly if people wanted to take pictures and email them, and we can share it with the Art Center staff.
That would be great.
It would be a cool feature to add.
Yeah, that would be really great. That would be super cool. And I would love to see all of, everybody's finished work. I would just love that.
So we send them to Carpentry Art Center, the images?
Well, do you have Brendan's email?
Here, I'll put it in the chat now, y'all.
All right. And actually what I'll do is I'll let the Art Center staff know that when they send you all the link to the class, that you'll be wanting to share your finished pieces, pictures of your finished pieces.
Yeah, that'd be nice. That would be really nice. Yeah.